Powerpuff Girls 2016 is the biggest disappointment since my son.
Pan pizza of Rebeltaxi. Oh, you just do not learn. While I didn't want to do this video any more than I did the first, I feel that it's now mandatory of me. Now, this wasn't supposed to be the next video, but I gotta strike while the iron is hot, or something like that. So, let's get going.
Other than adults desperate to recapture their childhoods, was there ever a demand for more Powerpuff Girls?
Probably not, but it is still appreciated.
I never thought someone could be incompetent enough to f*** up a basic concept like Powerpuff Girls.
Oh yeah? Well, I never thought someone who supposedly loves cartoons would totally screw up reviewing one. But enough about Pie Guy rules. Let's talk about your review.
What made the original so unique, and what made this just average?
I'd like to say something important. Here's how much you should be comparing this to the original. Now here's how much I care about the original. Hopefully that was made crystal clear for you.
It's not the worst cartoon ever, it's just lukewarm.
Well, I guess you could see it as that. I suppose it isn't bad though, but hey, the original wasn't so great either.
Powerpuff Girls 2016 is the 4th worst cartoon ever made, in no particular order.
Oh. Well, if there's no particular order, then I guess it would be right below the original Powerpuff Girls. And the show must be pretty far down, since it's so good.
Into the toilet I go.
Oh, well, if that's your fetish, then, go for it. But I'll be finding the show on my mantle.
And even when you look at it as its own separate thing, it's just bland.
Maybe to you, but not to me. Nor even a lot of other people, as I've seen.
They don't act bratty. They don't act stupid. They act the way that they were acting before. This looks like Powerpuff Girls. This sounds like Powerpuff Girls and feels like Powerpuff Girls.
The showrunners went in with the intention to develop the characters more because apparently the old show was, quote, very limited from a storytelling standpoint.
This says it's about 3 girls who are always together and on their own. They're saying that's limiting a character-driving storytelling process, and they want to tell stories more with the characters individually and not always together. Which I can respect, and so should you.
They basically said, oh yeah, we could do better, when really, they could not.
What questions?
Never gets old. Actually, Pan, they could. And they did. And they'll probably continue to in the future.
Blossom, the commander and leader, she's now Robin from Teen Titans Go or Lisa Simpson, obsessed with every single little thing being perfect. She was like that before, but now it's just too much.
Not even close. Blossom is shown to be smart, and yes, she has also been shown to want things clean, neat, and perfect. But hey, wasn't that Double D's character in Ed, Edd n Eddy? And that was an amazing show. Robin usually wants things to be perfect if the plot of the show commands it. And Lisa is not really that smart. She's more of a teacher's pet.
Oh, why are pine needles pointy? And, what's the difference between an asteroid and a meteor? Can you shrug anything other than your shoulders?
And she's not really that clean either. You ran out of examples, didn't you?
Bubbles, the joy and the laughter. She loves memes and ponies and unicorns and yas.
I agree. Yeah, I don't exactly like all the memes, modern humor, and white girlish demeanor she gives off. And why does she have to have that hidden anger thing? It's pretty creepy. She does usually act cutesy and bubbly, but those moments can be pretty distracting. I wish those details really weren't there.
They shove an unrelated moral about having fun at the right time at the end.
Unrelated? You weren't paying attention, were you? Buttercup was trying to goof off in Miss Keen's class, and when the Powerpuff Girls were trying to stop the panda, he makes Blossom and Bubbles have fun instead of doing their mission. It's a clear comparison.
Very funny, Buttercup, but please save your comments for later.
Grammar. More like...
That's it! There is a time and a place for goofing off, and it's not in my classroom.
I guess Buttercup just doesn't want anyone to have fun.
But there's a time and a place for having fun and doing what you want, just like Miss Keen was saying earlier. Oh man, having fun is okay, but not if it hurts someone's feelings.
How about a moral about respecting your underpaid teacher or not bullying kids?
Oh, perhaps a not bullying kids moral will be made in a future episode. You ever think of that?
It's like they wanted to give her more character. She's an asshole who learned a lesson. Now she's more likable and developed.
Yeah, she learns not to be an This episode she learns not to goof off. This episode she learns to control her anger. And in this episode she learns not to take things that aren't hers just because she's mad. You don't pay attention much, do you?
This is the equivalent of some jack-off smashing a vase and pasting it together like, look, I fixed it.
Actually, it would have been more of a person breaking a vase because they were fooling around or out of anger, and then learning why they shouldn't have been messing around, or learning how to control their anger.
Oh my god, what is their problem? Well, I think they're trying to be like Teen Titans Go, like how everyone is a...
Actually, they're not doing the same thing. Not even in the slightest. You're cherry-picking moments when the girls aren't being so nice to the other kids, yet you're ignoring the moments where they are being so nice to the other kids. Are you freaking kidding me?
They want to force a positive, unrelated lesson for the kids in the same episode?
Here's a good lesson for you. How about you learn to pay attention for once?
You know, Blossom, commander and leader in charge, but she doesn't even scold Buttercup?
Your uncontrollable anger is beginning to be a serious problem.
I think this series is showing her as more of a learning how to be a leader than just already leading the girls.
Oh, okay, Bubbles is not allowed to hurt people, but Buttercup is?
No, neither of them should hurt people, and they learn their lesson by the end of the episode.
It's wrong to cause collateral damage out of anger, but to do it when you're in complete control is okay? I guess they're only developed when it's convenient.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. Bubbles and Buttercup seem to have hurt innocent bystanders for fun. But one of the issues with your argument is that these bystanders can go on with their day despite what Bubbles and Buttercup did. And in the case of this guy who received broken bones, that was played for a small joke, so it's excusable. I mean, stuff like this happens all the time in cartoons.
Farewell, cruel world! Come on, Jimmy, you can do it!
Stop breathing on me, you idiot!
Hi there, young people. Nice day today.
So, you like kicking butts, do ya? Well, we'll show you, old man! There he is! Go get him!
Kids, he made me experience high tide! Oh!
The show isn't meant to be like Steven Universe or Gravity Falls with an overarching plot. And I suppose in this regard it is similar to Teen Titans Go, where the main, and perhaps only, similarity is how most or all the episodes are non-canon with each other and can be watched in any order.
It honestly does feel like all the writers had completely separate visions on what they want the show to be.
Well, aside from shoving in all those modern jokes and memes, not really. Each episode usually has a point that it portrays nicely, albeit sometimes a bit rushed, but in the end I see how it works.
There were consequences to the damages done.
Well, Miss Bellum, you can get back to work now.
Sorry about that, Mayor.
Oh, that's okay. You also destroyed my beautiful city.
You are flying in a no-fly zone! Land now!
They were just playing.
Hey, wait! That was a movie. You can't compare the show to that. It's meant to be more serious and realistic. What? Why are you showing that example again? You're showing the movie again? Oh, I get what's going on. You couldn't find any other examples, so you kept recycling old footage, hoping it would just work and people wouldn't notice. Lazy. You're also showing clips from season 3 and later of the original Powerpuff Girls. The show hasn't even finished its first season, so it's hard to compare it with just 20 episodes as opposed to the 80 episodes of the original series.
It's straight up just superheroes with the flaws the original ridiculed.
Well, perhaps they'll include issues like collateral damage in a future episode. Nice fan art.
I never thought these girls could be more simple, but they found a way.
They're not simple. They've been shown as individual characters with their own defining personality and traits. The originals sort of meshed them together, so it was relatively hard to figure out a specific personality for each girl.
Come on, Dick! Return it now, Dick! Dick is good, right?
Hilarious.
For profit, Dick creates half-assed clones of the girls to sell to other cities for protection.
I'm glad you brought up this episode. First, they're not really clones. They're more of incomplete Powerpuff Girls. And don't you have a problem with the fact that all these human girls are killed off at the end of the episode? I mean, they may have been made in a factory, but they have been shown to think cognitively. And I think they could have been just as important as any other person. Yet the Powerpuff Girls have no problem with letting all of them die.
Let's go home, girls.
I guess they might not care about them since they were deformed and mentally challenged. But wouldn't that be an insult to the disabled and mentally challenged?
They're admitting they're trying to have more developed characters when, really, they're just way more in your face with their personality.
I think their personalities are more present there than in your face.
There's so much focus on the girls that we never see much from anyone else in Townsville.
Maybe that's because they ran away in this shot. I mean, if a giant monster was attacking, wouldn't you run off while a superhero took care of it? Or would you just stand there like an idiot and just wait to be crushed?
This cartoon is going to be a lot of kids' first introduction to Powerpuff Girls.
And it's a great introduction! Look, shows like Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, Courage the Cowardly Dog, SpongeBob, and Megas XLR are all shows I grew up watching, and they all have background characters that aren't developed, collateral damage, and practically everything you've complained about. All I'm trying to say is that, as a whole, this show is good. Comparisons to the original shouldn't be made. I feel as though a show should be judged as a standalone series before it's judged on any other grounds. I mean, when Teen Titans Go was released, I gave it a chance. But when it started botching up ideas and lessons, that's where I stopped watching and started hating it. And when it started shoving in reused animation from the original show, trying to make fun of it, that's when you should start comparing it to the original. And as far as the new Powerpuff Girls reusing the original animation, I only recall one moment where they were more or less paying homage to the original and not making fun of it.
It relies way too much on you knowing the original when a reboot shouldn't do that.
No, it doesn't. I think you just can't get the idea of the original out of your head, and you really shouldn't be doing that. Sure, the narrator doesn't introduce the old villains like in the old show, but then again, he also doesn't introduce the new villains. But then how will we know who they are and why they're evil? Oh, I guess you'll just have to figure that out on your own. You know, like you're watching an actual cartoon.
But for a new generation, they're just like, what the f*** is this?
Yeah, they won't know who he is, and the growiness of how he looks now will help emphasize his true evil nature and power in later episodes.
Are these guys criminals?
They're obviously in jail.
Why does this rich girl want to hang out with the Powerpuff Girls, and how come they don't let her?
She later explains that she wants to be a Powerpuff Girl, so yeah, no explanation right now is needed.
Why are they so mean to her?
Because you learn that the girls know she's spoiled and, dare I say, evil?
How come this narrator only shows up some episodes and not others?
I guess they only use him when they need him.
Think about what you learned from the old intro. It's 1 minute long, but in just the first 30 seconds, you learn the ingredients, sugar, spice, everything nice, and Chemical X created superpower girls who dedicated their lives to fighting crime and the forces of evil. Also, what's cool is without saying a word, you get an idea on what these girls are like.
I'm sorry. The boredom and non-musical theme of this intro must have put me to sleep. Yeah, the intro of the original show explained what made the Powerpuff Girls, and you do get a glimpse into their personality with the musical tracks, but admittingly, that wasn't very entertaining. I remember hating this intro when compared to the song intros of Ed, Edd n Eddy, Fairly Odd Parents, and Chalk Zone. Got the chalk. Oh yeah. So yeah, the new intro is better, but I guess I would prefer it if the sugar, spice, and everything nice was kept in the TV airings.
From this intro, all we know is the girls fight crime, have powers, that's it.
I'm fine with this intro only showing the girls and only explaining that they're superheroes that fight crime. And if I want to know more about their personalities, then I'll watch the show.
Reboot does "The Day is Saved" at the end, but only on some episodes, and most of the time they do it, it's the twist.
Yeah, that is weird. Why don't they use the narrator's Day is Saved segment at the end of every episode? Look, I see what you mean with this segment, and for the most part, I actually agree with you. But the thing is, it's definitely ignorable. If kids don't get it now, then they will learn to get it. And if it bothers you, then you can ignore it. And it's not like it was an important segment in the first place.
Isn't it sad I'm basically implying this show is Teen Titans Go done wrong?
Yes, it is sad, but mainly because you have no idea what else to compare it to. I'm sure most of the criticisms you're making, you're really just saying just to get some sort of reaction out of us viewers. Or even just me in this case.
I like Teen Titans Go since that's different enough to be its own separate thing from Teen Titans.
I get what you're trying to say, but the true sad thing is, well, that you're wrong. Teen Titans Go tried to do a separate thing and not involve the original. However, they have shown that time and time again, they want us to think that the show is actually better than the original. And in one episode, they flat out admit that their own show sucks.
It was supposed to bring me awards and the respect of the entertainment industry. Instead, everyone thinks it's garbage!
The only thing worse than a show that tries to be good but ends up bad is a show that knows it's bad but tries to be even worse. Is that really a show you like, Mr. Pan Pizza?
Powerpuff 2016 is just Diet Powerpuff Girls.
I think it's more of a different brand. You know, like Sprite and Share Mist. They have similarities and differences, but they try to get the same idea across in their own delicious way.
Makes you say, what's the point? Just watch the old show. What's the point? Just watch the old show. Watch the old show. Watch the old show. Watch the old show.
I hate repeating myself. This new show does a lot better than the old show in terms of dialogue, character development, and especially animation. I suppose the original could have better jokes, but this series has some good ones as well.
Sure, the new series has more detailed backgrounds and a flashier intro, but there's no substance to it.
There is substance, you just choose to ignore it.
It's just an empty, soulless world.
Actually, no. This world is great. It's full of people with personality, with great details and stories.
Cartoon Network should take this reboot and just shove it up their own.
I'll shove your review up your own.
Memes, twerking.
As for the twerking...
We're gonna distract them with our booty shake to dance moves.
Shika, shika, shika.
Big butt, so what?
Shika, 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 stop. Everybody shake it, right?
Yeah, I saw it as more of a harmless butt-shaking dance. I mean, it was only in there for barely a second, so it's not much of anything to complain about.
Gross.
I've seen commenters defend this as a way to modernize it for kids today.
What? I'm not going to defend that. He's right. But didn't you already say that earlier in this review?
Bubbles, the joy and the laughter. She loves memes and ponies and unicorns and yes!
Oh god, you're repeating yourself now?
So one thing that was kinda charming about the girls is the mayor would notify them about crimes through this cutesy plastic hotline toy phone that really has no place in a mayor's office or even should function as a phone, especially in emergencies.
And we brought you this hotline phone, so if you're ever in trouble, you can just give us a call.
Okay. Well, I already have a phone, so if you could please get to the point, as you can see I'm a very busy man.
Now to modernize it, they just use an actual smartphone.
As for the phones, well, the professor is a man of science, so he would acquire more modern technology. So from a character's standpoint, it does make sense for why the girls would have them. Besides, it may have been harder to portray this new Powerpuff Girls show in the same time period as the old one. I get that it was funnier to see the mayor use a silly-looking phone to call superheroes, but given his childish nature and character, they at least sorta made sense. Now the phones just look like everyone else's. But in short, yeah, I don't like how the joke with the mayor and the toy phone is gone, but as of now, I can ignore it, so you should be able to as well. A show like Gravity Falls included smartphones in a way that wasn't too contrived, so as long as Powerpuff Girls tries to do the same, it shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully. There, I proved your full review wrong. Now leave it alone.
You'll learn why more when this review is continued in Part 2. Part 2.
God dang it! I don't have much time left in my worthless life to keep doing this. There are other online critics, animators, and so on I need to get to. What else do you need to say about this show?
His baby is ruined. They ruined his 3 babies.
It's not ruined, you twit. Perhaps the butthurt, nostalgia-obsessed fanboys, it's not a good show. But for us that enjoy cartoons for what they are, this is a good show. And any other reviewer out there needs to stop saying the original is better, because this show does not have to be the original. This show has the potential to be better than the original. So thanks for watching, and time for your judgment.
Neros wins. Fatality.